I could actually get arrested for talking about this, but I have to talk about it. I've talked a little bit about psilocybin in earlier videos, and I have to say, what does psilocybin have to do with my relationship with men? What does it have to do with attracting toxic men and trying to heal and trying to do better for myself? A hell of a lot. As we all know from the last 85,422 videos that I've done on my breakup, I am in a healing era and I'm trying to figure out how to level up so that I can pick better men, so that I can attract more healthy, divine men into my life. And yes, I'm going to use the term divine masculine, although it's cliche, because I think it's such a beautiful and realistic for all of the jaded girlies out there, which trust me, there's a part of me that's extremely jaded, but it is out there and it is what we need to be shooting for. And it was the psilocybin that taught me this, and this is how. I watched a ton of videos, consumed a ton of media on Divine Union, which is a divine masculine and a divine feminine getting together and creating magic. I know all about it cognitively, but I did not know about it in my body. I did not know what it felt like because I have actually never had it. I've had things that are close to it, but I have never actually manifested it. But when I got out of my toxic relationship, I knew that I would settle for nothing less, and that was the benchmark, and I would be single until I found it. And I started to figure out, like, okay, this is what I need to manifest. Divine Union is it. That's what I want. I'm not settling for less. And it's not that I got impatient not receiving it right away. I was just kind of curious, and I let myself be open to what was going to happen in the meantime, in the interim, as I waited to manifest it. I just kept vibing and healing, and psilocybin was part of that journey. So I will talk about a most recent trip that I had. I do microdose every single day, but I like to have bigger trips just to have more downloads and to have more inspiration. So just this last weekend, I asked a friend of mine, a male friend, who I really don't know well, but I just really vibe with his energy, if he wanted to have a deeper trip with me. And he said yes. So Saturday night, we figured it out. We created a really therapeutic environment. And during the trip, of course, I felt good. I felt so cushy, so warm, so amazing, so magical. I kept closing my eyes and trying to get downloads because when I have a deep trip like that, I'm very intellectual. Not a shock. I'm a very intellectual person. And so I kept closing my eyes and trying to see things that have happened in trips past so I could get messages. And every time I would close my eyes, I would hear source, or whatever you want to call it, say to me, just be present in this moment. This is the experience. And I was like, what? Okay. And so I started to do that, and I just started to lean into the experience with this man. And it was annoying me because I'm like, why is my experience centered around a man? Like, I want this experience to be about me. But as I lean into it and I just start to have this experience with this man, he's just in my energy. We're just talking, nothing out of pocket's happening. We're just enjoying each other's presence and kind of helping each other. We're like guiding each other through this process. He is getting me water. He is picking up things from the floor when they're in my way, in my path. I went to the bathroom for a second. He waited outside of the bathroom and carried me back to where we were sitting. He was just completely serving me the whole night. And I was a little disconcerted by it. I was a little uncomfortable. But as the night progressed, he started to verbalize to me that being with me in my relaxed, loving, sensual, I would even say, even though this was not a sexual experience, but I was in my divine feminine. So any woman who's embodied what she would consider her divine feminine will know that sensuality is a part of that. The biggest takeaway was his masculine energy was fostering in me my divine femininity, meaning I was relaxed, I was loving, I was nurturing, I was sensual, I was warm. I have been in that before, but I've never had a man bring it out in me. All the other men in my life brought out the worker bee, the woman that tries to fill in the spaces of silence, tries to fill in the awkwardness and make the environment safe, because the man is not in his masculine to make it a safe environment for her. That has always been where I've been in relationships. And I'm not in a relationship with this man, but being in his presence in that state of mind, because he is in his divine masculine, meaning he was vulnerable. He opened up to me about how he felt. He was in his emotions. He was not ashamed of his emotions. He embodied them. But at the same time, he created a safe space for me, both physically by the tasks that he was doing for me, and emotionally, meaning he held space for his emotions, which held space it for mine. It was the most magical give and take. I have never experienced it. And I know now, a few days later, as I'm still processing what went down, because with psilocybin, you actually can remember what happened during the trip, unlike alcohol where you forget everything, and it leads to mind expansion. As I've thought since that meeting, that I needed to feel what that felt like, not just know it cognitively, but know it in my body so that I could bring it in and recognize it when it comes. What I can take away from it is it's not only magical, but it's natural, it's easy, it's flowing. When both of you are in your highest state of divine masculine and divine feminine, the interchange between the two is